Welcome to Fan 365. I am Ubongani, and of course I'm joined by Nick as well as Osipo. We are here to talk about the Chelsea versus Liverpool game. Gents, we were building up to that game. We were excited about the game. Of course, it ended 2-1 in favor of Chelsea, but we are here to talk about the players' performances because that is what affect fantasy points. I want us to start with Moises Caicedo. What a game he had. And in fact, let me start here because this guy did say that he would make Caicedo his captain, and he's the one that got the most points, 94 fantasy points.
That's double the points if you followed me and made me a captain.
Sorry.
How was that?
How was his performance though? I mean, the goal, and also the fact that he's a defensive player and he's getting the goals. He's got 4 goals so far this season, if I'm not mistaken. A defensive player, he's doing the defensive work, but he's also contributing going forward and getting those goals for Chelsea.
Yep. Thanks for joining us, super fans, and I really hope you listen to me this one. I mean, having a defensive midfielder who's chipping in the assists, getting a goal there, and again, I think from Chelsea moving forward, I'll start picking from the back. Because you had your Cucurella chipping in an assist and my captain scoring. So you probably got double the points from that 94. So, he's been consistent. And that's what I go with.
Nick, I mean, what are your thoughts on him with the way that he's been playing, getting those goals? Because it does affect your picks. When Chelsea's playing, like Sipo is saying, you now start to think about him as the captain, as opposed to a João Pedro, for example, who hasn't been getting those goals.
Yeah, so I think, firstly, I'd like to start off by saying I've just had Chelsea did a solid for us as a United fan. Liverpool, we like to see them not to thrive so much. But on a serious note, Caicedo has been on fire. And like my colleague mentioned, he's got the footballing brain apparently. We need to be listening to his picks. So like you said, Caicedo has just been on red hot form. 7 appearances, 3 goals this season, which is absolutely crazy. It's bonkers. If you had to pick him in those games, he would have got 40 points as a midfielder scoring in those 3. And if you had, that would equal to 120 points. If you captained him, it would have been 240 points just by captaining Caicedo.
I think more than anything, this is a sign that we should start listening to this more, to this man more. Because I mean, he's the stats man, and he knows what he's talking about. But he's still talking about stats. Virgil van Dijk, guys, for this particular game, he only got 14 fantasy points. I was watching the post-match discussions, and people were criticizing him that he should have stepped up to block Caicedo from taking that shot that led to the goal.
Yes, yeah.
What a disappointing performance from him.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%. If you had a freeze frame of that, we saw Van Dijk was twerking. They made him go. They didn't know what was happening. But on a serious note, Van Dijk hasn't been performing at the levels that we used to, and I don't know if it's taking him time to get going. He's used to a new system with different players. There's a lot of factors that come into play. But I think we have to give him time because, as a whole, as a player, I mean, he came second in the Ballon d'Or 1 year. We can't discredit that. So I think he will come right. However, at the moment, I don't think he's a pick for us.
Definitely not. I think he's overconfident.
Yes.
That plays a role in terms of your performances moving forward. Because once you get to that stage of I'm one of the best defenders, and you get that overconfidence. Such things happen, and you make those small mistakes that cost the team. But I think my biggest disappointment, again, it continues. Salah is still sleeping.
Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Sorry to cut you off. I'm glad you mentioned that because we did have a talk about Salah in building up to this particular game, and the disappointment continued. Let's just be specific. He got 9 fantasy points.
Imagine.
And most people would have made him their captain.
Exactly.
Exactly. So clearly there's something that is not right there with Salah.
Salah's shirt number is higher than the points he got. Go figure. How do you make sense of that? At the moment, we just have to look at the facts because Salah, usually a superstar for Liverpool, massive player. But at the moment, he's not getting the points. I think the better pick consistently is Cody Gakpo.
Yes.
Gakpo has been flippant phenomenal. Phenomenal. If you look at the amount of points that he received now, he's just been killing it. He's been killing
And
it.
again, check his position where he's playing. So again, with everyone who's making their picks for fantasy sports, they'd be looking at your attacking players, your Ekitike, your Salah. But we're seeing the points coming from the defending midfield players, the defenders, and that's where we're seeing most of the points coming from. Apart from having a super sub that came in and scored a winner.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Well, that was the Chelsea and Liverpool game. Gents, thank you for joining me. It was just a short discussion to have a look back at what took place at Stamford Bridge. Now we are switching our focus to the international break. We'll have something for Bafana as they have two crucial games coming up this week. And we'll also, of course, after the international break, we'll talk about Man U against Liverpool. But from us, it's goodbye.
Cheers.
Later.